Hi friends, it is Johnny back with another video, and today it is time for another Florida Man video. Now, if you don't know what a Florida Man is by this point, I'm sorry. I am trying to make them entertaining for you, I really am. But for some reason, you're just not watching them. I mean, they seem to be doing really well. Why haven't you in particular, the one watching this video at the moment, why haven't you started watching them? Why is this your first one? There's 20-something more. But anyway, if you haven't watched one before, a Florida Man is anytime a news report or news article says Florida Man does blank, and it's always something completely deranged. That's a Florida Man. Now, ever since moving down to Florida, I've used them as a bit of a horoscope for some YouTubers. Now that you know, this week's Florida Man video is about VTubers. Let's just roll the intro. First up, we have Giwi. Now, doing a simple Google search, I found out that Giwi's birthday is September 10th. Now, knowing that information, let's figure out what kind of Florida Man Giwi is. And Giwi, your Florida Man is... Florida Man twerks for officers during traffic stop. Gets tased, report says. He twerked for the officers. Okay, let's just get into it. This one seems like it's gonna be a funny one. While most people would choose to cooperate with the police during a traffic stop, some don't. And some even getting violent. But one Florida man got a little cheeky. Cheeky, get it? Like the ass that he was twerking? Listen, I keep telling you news reporters, stop trying to be a little cheeky and leave it to me. You gotta let me come up with some puns too, okay? Redacted age 57, a 57-year-old man dropped down that booty and made them cheeks clap for the police. You know what? Good for him. Redacted age 57 of Crystal River got out of his SUV, bent over, put his hands on the wet floor, and began twerking for the Citrus County Sheriff's Deputy in the pouring rain of Inverness on Tuesday. Oh, I don't know why, but it being in the rain just makes it better. It just gives off like Tom Holland Umbrella in lip sync battles, you know? If you know, you know. A bystander recorded the odd encounter. So someone was just walking along the road, saw the car stop, and I was like, I gotta pull my phone out because this is a sight. And a video showing Redacted dancing for the officer in a median. Okay, yeah, so again, just in the middle of the road. A median, if you don't know, it's like that separation between oncoming and going traffic. That's usually like a grass patch in between the two. That's a median. So this all happened just in the middle of a median. So cars were coming and going, and this man was just clapping cheeks in the middle of this median in the rain for the police. Okay. Oh, you could look it up apparently because it's circling the internet. What are you scared of? Redacted said to the police. According to the Chronicle, I've got knives, you got a gun. Wait, where did the knives come into play? And I'm sorry, my mind just instantly gives him that voice like, you like what you see, boys? Like that kind of voice. Where did the knives come from though? Like, I've got knives, you've got a gun. What are you afraid of? Redacted later took out a knife and threw it into the grass. The report said, okay, so he did in fact at least have a knife, like a knife. He might have had more because he said, I've got knives, plural. After several attempts from the deputies to get Redacted to listen and stop, the officer resorted to tasing him as he walked away. The dance, the tase, and the arrest, all of it was caught on the video that you can look up online apparently. So what was he just like, okay, I gave you a show, now I'm gonna leave? And the officer like, know you're still under arrest and decided to tase him? Like, is that what happened? What are you afraid of, boys? I've got knives, you've got a gun, I've got this badass dumpy. I guess the dumpy's like what really set them off. They're like, we gotta tase him. He's too powerful. He's too powerful. We need backup. Tase him for now. The suspect was charged with resisting an officer without violence. I mean, what are you talking about? He used his weapon. He also pulled out a knife. Let's talk about that for a second. But he also used his weapon. Them cheeks were breaking the sound barrier with clapping, okay? Fleeing from law enforcement and reckless driving with a bond set of $3,500. Okay, so that's why they pulled him over, because he was recklessly driving. Good to know. Because up until now, they hadn't said why he got pulled over. According to the Chronicle, Redacted was originally pulled over for disrupting the flow of traffic by attempting to pass cars using the grass median and turning lanes. Oh, he's one of those. Ew, okay. Listen, there are many times that I wish a cop was there, because it happens so regularly down here that somebody wants to be driving in the grass or driving straight in the turning lane. So I wish a lot of times these people got caught, so good for him. But also, good for him for giving a show. He was like, you know what? I did fuck up. Let me apologize by putting on a performance. Let me just start playing music and you just work. But yes, Giwi, that is your Florida man. Live with the knowledge that that is deep down inside you something because the day you were born. And I am not sorry. That was great. On to the next one. Next up, we have Basil. And doing a simple Google search, I found that Basil's birthday is April 5th. Now, knowing that information, let's figure out what kind of Florida man Basil is. And Basil, your Florida man is... Florida man allegedly pulled out machete when karaoke song denied. That seems extreme. And also, why do so many Florida men just carry around with a random machete? Because I feel like this is like, what, the 5th, 6th story now that had a machete involved? Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
Let's start reading. A Florida man is facing charges after pulling a machete out at a bar when his karaoke request was denied. Redacted, age 39, was arrested and charged with disturbing the peace on Sunday afternoon after the alleged incident at Kennedy's Lamppost Tavern in Cape Canaveral. Just disturbing the peace? He pulled out a machete. I feel like that's a little more. At that point, I feel like at least like reckless endangerment or something along those lines. But disturbing the peace? I feel like that's for like playing loud music or something, you know? Or being belligerent in public. But pulling out a machete, that goes above that, you know? But I'm just saying, I'm not the police. I'm just putting that out there, you know? Deputies found Redacted with bloodshot eyes and smelling strongly of alcohol, the outlet said. So on top of pulling out a machete, he was also super drunk. Cool. Maybe even something else, considering the eyes. A female witness at the bar told the responding officers that Redacted pulled out a concealed machete. I'm sorry. Pause for a second. Machetes are like yay big, sometimes bigger. How are you concealing that? Was it like taped to his back and he's like, haha, play my song? Like, you know, like, where did it come from? Where did it go? Where did it come from, Cotton Eye Joe? I want to know. Pulled out a concealed machete after his request to sing another karaoke song was denied. Oh, so he already sang a song, but he wanted another song. It's like a one song thing, like everyone gets one song. How popular is this bar? And karaoke in the afternoon? Also, being that drunk in the afternoon? And having a machete? I have so many questions. The woman was reportedly able to convince Redacted to give her the weapon, which she then hid while calling law enforcement. I'm sorry, did no one call the police like the second the machete got pulled? She really had to like talk him down, like, hey, guy, look at me. Everything's cool. If you want to sing another song, that's fine and good. Just give me the machete. That's all you gotta do. Not in me. Just gently place it in my hands. On my hands, not in. Thank you. Lets him sing the song, runs over, calls the police, and hides it. So I was right. Where did it go? I feel like there were steps that should have been taken first. Like, while she was trying to talk him down, somebody else should have been, like, calling the police. Why did she have to deal with everything? Were they the only two in the bar? And if that's the case, why couldn't he sing another song? Just to play devil's advocate for a second, I'm just saying. Redacted told police that he had been threatened a few days earlier and was carrying the machete to stay alert and protect himself. Bitch, that is what mace is for. Hell, maybe even an SA whistle, okay? Now I'm just thinking about it. Him being on stage, no sir, you can't sing another song. And what do you mean by threatened? You know, what does he mean when he says words? I have witnessed some people say they were threatened down here, and it was because, like, somebody was wearing nail polish or something like that. So I don't know how well I trust him. You know what I mean? Like, I was threatened. I saw two men happy. I was threatened the other day. I saw somebody ask a woman her opinion. I need this machete, okay? Like, that's how some people down here really are, and it's insane to me. At an old job I had, some guy felt threatened because I wore a pink shirt, which we all had to do for breast cancer awareness. But because I was the only guy that he saw right at the moment in the pink shirt, that was threatening to him, you know what I mean? So things like that happen so regularly down here. So I don't know if I believe a Florida man when he says I was threatened, because that could mean so many things. Like, tell me what happened to you, and then I'll be like, okay, that was a threat. Not to sound callous, but I see some wild shit down here, okay? But yes, Basil, that is your Florida man. Live with the knowledge that that is deep down inside of you simply because of the day you were born. I'm sorry. On to the next one. Next up, we have Ansta. And doing a simple Google search, I found out that Ansta's birthday is December 15th. Now, knowing that information, let's figure out what kind of Florida man Ansta is. And Ansta, your Florida man is... Florida man throws Christmas tree at wife after food fight? That feels like a bit of a leap, but okay, let's just start reading. A Florida man was arrested after police said he threw a Christmas tree at his wife after she asked him to help with dinner. That's not a food fight. You made it seem like she like throws like chicken nugget and he's like, fuck this, throws a full ass tree. Like, that's what he made it seem like. She just said, hey, can you help with dinner? And this man threw a tree. Not saying that someone throwing chicken nuggets at you like deserves a tree being thrown at them, but that's even worse now. It's even worse to be like, honey, can you help with dinner? And he's just like, yeah, throws a tree. According to the Fruitland Park police report, redacted age 52, said he lost his temper after his wife slammed a utensil into hot food and the food splashed on him on Monday. Okay. I've been burned. I could understand losing your temper, but a tree feels excessive. I doubt that the Christmas tree's in your kitchen, so you had to leave the room and come back with the tree. Like, at most, I could understand screaming. I don't think any form of violence is reserved, which includes a tree being thrown at somebody. But hey, that might just be me. Who knows? According to the report, he packed his things and said he was leaving, but instead, he told his wife that she should leave. Okay. When she attempted to leave, the victim said he blocked the door. Bitch, do you want her to leave or not? She said, I bet I'm out. And he was like, no, you're not. And she's like, but you told me to leave. The victim said she sat in the living room with a friend. Where did the friend come into play? Did the friend come over like, hey, I'm being held hostage in my house, and the friend's like, I could come and keep you company. I ain't got shit to do right now. I could be a hostage. But yeah, the victim said she sat in the living room with a friend, and redacted picked up the tree and threw it at her. It snapped in half, and then the victim called the police. Also, this is definitely not I lost my temper, because let's run down the scenario. And it's also not a food fight, so the headline was a complete lie. Let's just run through the story real quick right now. A wife asked her husband, honey, can you help me with dinner? I guess he said no. Something happened where she accidentally splashed some oil or whatever and it burned him. He got pissed off, said, fuck it, I'm leaving, and then walked out the room, came back and said, no, fuck it, you're leaving. She's like, I'm out. He blocks the door and says, you're not going anywhere. She has a friend come over to keep her company. And while they're talking, he's pacing back and forth in the living room or whatever, and decides to throw the tree. That ain't losing your temper. That is premeditated at that point. Losing your temper is, again, like screaming at her or something. Like, screaming at her in the moment when it happens. That could be considered losing your temper. You had the whole thought process, I'm leaving, no, you know what, you're leaving, and then, like, you keep her hostage in her own home, and then you throw a tree at her when she's talking with a friend. That's not losing your temper. That's something else. But I digress. Let's continue reading. Redacted faces domestic battery and false imprisonment charges. I mean, good for him. He was held at Lake County Jail on $8,000 bond. That doesn't seem like enough, okay? What she did, at least from what I'm getting, feels like an accident. Unless, of course, she, like, purposefully scooped up some boiling oil and, like, yeah, you know, like, threw it at him. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? The fight is on. But it says she slammed down a utensil, and that caused the oil or whatever to, like, accidentally spill and burn him. So, hell, if he was that close to the food in the first place after she asked him to help and he didn't, I feel like he was in her face asking her, like, why are you asking me to help? So, and maybe he slammed it down himself. But again, these are all I'm just assuming at this point. He rubs me the wrong way. It might be because he threw a whole ass tree at a woman. Who genuinely thinks, let me grab our Christmas tree and throw it at you? Maybe they had one of those, like, little Charlie Brown trees on a desk or something. Maybe that's what he threw. But honestly, the way this reads, I'm looking at, like, at least a 6-foot spruce. But yes, Onsta, that is your Florida man. Live with the knowledge that is deep down inside of you simply because the day you were born. And I am sorry. I don't think you would pick up a tree and throw it at anybody. On to the next one. And last up for this video, we have Kenji. And doing a simple Google search, I found out that Kenji's birthday is April 3rd. Now, knowing that information, let's figure out what kind of Florida man Kenji is. And Kenji, your Florida man, is Florida man charged with stabbing and killing ex-girlfriend with a sword. Again, why do all these Florida men just have these random weapons? Don't get me wrong, I have swords too, but they're not really in a place that I can, like, fight with them, you know what I mean? I'm not in a position to just, like, be arguing with somebody and just, like, have a sword in hand, like, on guard, you know, like... But let's read, let's see what they say. Citrus County Sheriff's Office has arrested a 41-year-old man for stabbing his ex-girlfriend with a sword and then running her over with a truck. They didn't mention the truck in the title. They made it seem like the sword killed her, but in reality, the sword and a truck killed her. But I'm just saying. According to a news release, deputies found 42-year-old the victim dead in the front yard of a home Sunday night. So he just had a sword on him in the front yard and then had enough time whilst she was stabbed to get in a truck and, like, run her over? Again, sometimes these things just, like, are obviously premeditated. Detectives discovered Redacted had stabbed the victim with a large sword. According to a witness, after Redacted stabbed the victim, he ran to his truck and proceeded to run over the victim before crashing into a tree. He then ran from the home and was later found and taken into custody by deputies. So somebody saw him stab her, run to the car, run her over, and hit a tree, get out of the car, and run. I'm not laughing at, like, the situation, I'm laughing at, like, the stupidity of, like, crashing the car and running. Again, premeditated. Why did he have the sword in the front yard? Is that just a thing? Like, haha, I've got my front yard sword. I also have my backyard sword, my side yard sword, my kitchen sword, my bedroom sword, my bathroom sword, and my little nook sword. Why did you have a sword in the front yard? Also, why was your first thought to run to your car and run her over? You know, like, that doesn't add up. The only thing I can think is maybe he, like, tried to get away and he had stabbed her and she landed in front of the car. That's the only thing I can think of. But other than that, like, he intentionally ran to the car to run her over and I guess try to get away. But in reality, I don't know why I'm trying to understand it, so let's just keep reading. He's charged with premeditated murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's in jail without bond, and it's unclear if he's retained an attorney. Let him rot. At least I got it right. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and premeditated murder. Because yes, again, why did he have a sword in the front yard? He also ran to the car to run her over. But at least that's outside and a car belongs outside. You know what I mean? Like, why the sword? Why was the sword out there? But yeah, that's your Florida man, Kenji. live with the knowledge that that is deep down inside of you simply because the day you were born. I am so sorry. But that's the video. There were some funny ones, some darker ones. We had a little twist and turn this video, you know? I'm happy because, like, I've had videos where they were all really, really dark, and it just made me feel bad. Like, we started out funny, and we had a couple of okay ones and some not so okay ones. I'm still on the fact that an almost 60-year-old man dropped down and twerked in the rain for the police. That was my favorite. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I really enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and bing bong the ding dong down below to be alerted when we make a new video. And until next time, why not check out some of my other stuff? I have some more Florida Man, some theater dreams, some story time, some randomness, and let's plays. I have a little something for everybody. And while you're at it, why not share one of your favorite videos of mine with your friends? We could always use more friends on the channel. But until then, bye! And please, please, Florida Man, stop taking machetes everywhere you go. I'm tired of reading machete stories.
Ja, hem nog eens.